Hello students, myself Rajesh Kumar Sharma, your biology teacher. In this lecture, we will discuss about agents of pollination. As we have earlier discussed about pollination. What is pollination? Pollination is transfer of pollen from anther of a flower to stigma of same flower or another flower of same species. That is called as pollination. Let's start agents of pollination. In general, agents of pollination can be divided into like by air, pollination by air, pollination by water, pollination by soil, pollination by animals, pollination by birds, pollination by bats, pollination by ants, pollination by pila, pollination by elephants. All these are specific terms or technical terms like pollination by air, also called anemophily, pollination by water, hydrophily, pollination by insects, entomophily, pollination by birds, ornithophily, pollination by bats, chiratophily, pollination by ants, myrmecophily, pollination by pila, malacophily, pollination by elephants, elephophily. Clear? If you find anywhere these terms, don't be confused. Okay, clear? Let's start in detail. Agents of pollination. Plants used to abiotic, that is wind and water, and one biotic, that is animal agents to achieve pollination. Majority of plants use biotic agents for pollination. Only a small proportion of plants use abiotic agents. Pollen grains coming in contact with the stigma is a chance factor in both wind and water pollination. Means pollination broadly divided into two parts, that is biotic and abiotic. And in case of plants, biotic factor is more important as compared to abiotic factor. Abiotic factor, that is water and wind. Pollen grains coming in contact with the stigma is a chance factor in both wind and water pollination. To compensate for this uncertainties and associated loss of pollens, the flower produces enormous number amount, as we have discussed during male gamete formation. Pollen grains are produced in large numbers, enormous amount of pollen when compared to number of ovules available for pollination. Pollination by wind is more common amongst abiotic pollination. Wind pollination also requires that pollen grains are light. These are requirement for pollination by wind. Wind pollination also requires that pollen grains are light and non-sticky so that they can be transported in wind currents. They often possess well exposed stamens dispersed into wind currents and large, often feathery stigma. Listen carefully. There is feathery stigma in case of reception while wind pollination occurs. Large, often feathery stigma to easily trap airborne pollen grains. Wind pollinated flowers often have a single ovule in each ovary and numerous flowers packed into an inflorescence. A familiar example is the corn cob. Corn means maize, makkah. The tassels you see are nothing but the stigma and style which wave in the wind to trap pollen grains. Wind pollination is quite common in grasses. Example of anemophily or wind pollination are grasses. Pollination by water is quite rare in flowering plants and is limited to about 30 genera, mostly monocotyledons. As against this, you could recall that water is a regular mode of transport for the male gametes among the lower plants such as algae, bryophyte and pteridophytes. It is believed, particularly for some bryophytes and pteridophytes, that their distribution is limited because of the need for water for the transport of male gamete and fertilization. Means in case of lower plants, water is essential for fertilization. Some example of water pollinated plants are Vallisneria, Hydrilla, which grow in fresh water, and several marine sea grasses such as Zostria. Not all aquatic plants use water for pollination. Means not all plants which are found in aquatic conditions are pollinated by water current. Clear? In a majority of aquatic plants such as water hyacinth and water lily, the flowers emerge above the level of water and are pollinated by insect or wind. As in most of the land plants in Vallisneria, the female flower reach the surface of water by the long stalk, and the male flowers or pollen grains are released onto the surface of water. They are carried passively by water currents. Some of them eventually reach the female flowers and the stigma. In another group of water pollinated plants such as sea grasses, female flowers remain submerged in water and pollen grains are released inside the water. Listen carefully. Female flowers submerged inside the water and pollen grains are released inside the water. Pollen grains in many such species are long, ribbon-like, and they are carried passively inside the water. Some of them reach the stigma and achieve pollination. In most of the water pollinated species, pollen grains are protected from wetting by a mucilaginous covering. Both wind and water pollinated flowers are not very colorful and do not produce nectar. Why? Because there is no need for pollination by insects. Clear? If insects only attracted towards the colorful flowers. Majority of flowering plants use a range of animals as pollinating agents. Bees, butterflies, flies, beetles, wasps, ants, moths, birds, sunbird and hummingbirds and bats are the common pollinating agents. Among the animals, insects, particularly bees, are dominant biotic pollinating agents. Even larger animals such as some primates, lemurs, arboreal, tree-dwelling rodents, or even reptiles, gecko lizard and garden lizard have also been reported as pollinators in some species. Often flowers of animal pollinated plants are specifically adapted for a particular species of animal. Means few animals only specialize to pollinate in only specific species. Majority of insect pollinated flowers are large, colorful, fragrant, and rich in nectar. When the flowers are small, a number of flowers are clustered into an inflorescence to make them conspicuous. Animals are attracted to flowers by color and fragrance. The flowers pollinated by flies and beetles secrete foul odors to attract these animals. To sustain animal visit, the flower have to provide reward to animals. Nectar and pollen grains are the usual floral rewards. For harvesting the rewards from the flower, the animal visitor comes in contact with the anther and the stigma. The body of animal gets coating of pollen grains, which are generally sticky in animal pollinated flowers. When the animal carry the pollen on its body comes in contact with stigma, it brings about pollination. Means when the insects or animal visited flower, the pollen grains stick with their body. When they visit another flower, then these pollen grains are transferred to another flower. Means they are helping in pollination. Okay, in our next lecture we will discuss outbreeding devices. Okay, thank you.